Good morning, everyone. Let's get to our seats and we'll begin the lesson shortly. Now, in some Spanish speaking countries, when two people meet who have the same name, instead of greeting each other with their names, they will instead say "Hey tocayo" for boy, or "tocaya" for girl. As an example, if John D and John C of our class were to get up and greet each other, they could say "Hey tocayo" instead of each other's names. Now, what I want you guys to do now is to stand up, move around the classroom, and find your tocayas and tocayos. And if they aren't in the class, tell us where. If they're in another class, or if they're a family member or a close friend of yours. Okay. Now, everyone return to your seats. I want to talk about this a little bit more. Now, as everyone knows, nicknames are shortened full names. So, let's say if Tim and Timmy were to meet up and greet each other, they could still say "Hey tocayo" because both their names are the same still, just shortened. And keep that in mind as we move on to the next point. Whole numbers have multiple factors, so whenever we put two factors together, let's say a multiplication problem, they're kind of like nicknames in a way. So let's say 3 times 10 and 5 times 6 meet. How will they greet each other? Well, they will still say, "Hey tocayo," because they're both actually 30, just like Tim and Timmy both mean Timothy. As you can see, this is a multiplication chart, and when you look at it, you can see there are multiple numbers that repeat themselves. 12 is a great number because it appears 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in total on the chart. Now, we're going to be going over the factors. First factors I want to go over are 2 times 6 to get us started. So, well, 2 times 6, I mean 2 and 6, which can be written as 2 times 6, or as 6 times 2, to give us 12. Next one I want to go over is 1 and 12, which can be written as 1 times 12 or 12 times 1, since both still mean 12. And the final factors I want to go over are 3 and 4, which can be written as 3 times 4 or 4 times 3. Now, I want you guys to get out your whiteboards and markers and write at the top of your whiteboards, "Hi, my name is," and leave enough space at the bottom for the next step. Okay, now that you all have that done, I want you guys to look at the multiplication chart and find a number that repeats itself multiple times on here. Like 20, 12, 18, 10. Any number will work as long as it appears multiple times on this. And I want you guys to write down two factors of it so that when they're multiplied together, they give you that number. I went with the lazy route and wrote 2 times 6. Since 2 times 6 is 12, it's factors of it. Now that you found hold on. Let me recollect my train of thought real quick. Now that you have written down the factors, I want everyone to get up and look around the room for other people who have factors that, when multiplied together, give the same product as yours. So let's say, since mine is 2 times 6, I would have to find someone that has 6 times 2, 1 times 12, 12 times 1, and so on and so forth, as long as they're the same factors. And whenever you meet this said person, I want you guys to greet each other with "Hey tocaya" or "Hey tocayo." And whenever you find your tocaya and tocayo, I want you guys to stand in the same spot and raise your whiteboards up so I can see them. Alright. Go. Go. Okay. Now that we're done, let's go through the groups and see what you guys have. Okay, Jim and Tim, your boards say 5 times 2 and 10 times 1. So what do your boards actually say? 10, right. That's correct. Good job. Samantha and Kathy, your boards say 12 times 2 and 6 times 4. What do those numbers mean? 24, correct. Good job. Let's see. John D. and Katie, your boards say 6 times 10 and 12 times 5. When you multiply those numbers together, you get 60, correct. That's a very big number. Good job, guys. Now, let's see. John C. and Sam, your boards say 10 times 2 and 5 times 4. Can you guys tell me what those numbers are if you multiply them? 20, right. Good job, both of you. And Timmy, it seems like you couldn't find your Tokaya or Takayo. That's fine. 2 times 8 must have been homesick that day. Alright, class, altogether, what does Timmy's board actually say? 16. Good job, guys. Okay, everybody go back to your seats. I want to hand out a worksheet for you guys to work on independently. So, this worksheet is basically what we're doing, what we did in the activity, just on paper. So, it's going to be giving you numbers, and then you have to find essentially nicknames for them. So, let's start with, let's say 15 as a random number off the top of my head. This is not on your worksheet at all, so don't bother copying it down. So what two numbers multiplied together gives you 15? 3 and 5, right. So you write down 3 times 5. Well, now you have to find another factored pair. What you can do is say 1 times 5, or no, that's wrong, my bad. 1 times 15, or since we wrote down 3 times 5, we can write down 5 times 3, or alternatively 15 times 1. Any of those work, since any of them multiplied together equals 15. Now, I want you guys to start working on this while I grade other papers. Okay, now that that's done, hold on 1 second. Okay, now that we're done here with the worksheet, let's talk about what we learned today and whether we can use it, this game, with addition, subtraction, or division facts. So, let's go. Okay, in all seriousness, thank you guys for watching. This is a mess, honestly. There are hours of scrapped recording, so thank you guys for watching this mess of a final recording. Have a nice day, everyone.